And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition of the Rex March Madness Group B. I'm of course Showside VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to our second day of the group stage. Last night we were live with Group A with 4 players. We had Zaun, we had Hero, we had Maxpax, and Solar. In the end, Maxpax and Hero did advance on out of Group A. Now we are here to determine the 2 players to make it through Group B. Here we go. We have 4 players. We have 3 Terrans and we have a Zerg. But really, we only have half a Terran because we're jumping into a TVP. Here we go, sporting in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Protoss player, as again, he has not played a TvT since December of last year, representing Team Liquid from Atlanta, France. It is Clem. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series, who you think will advance on out of, or take this first initial series here and make it to the winners match. As a reminder, we're going to be featuring 4 players here tonight. We have Clem, we have ByuN, we have Cure, and we have Shin. We have 4 players. Again, like 2.5 Terrans, we got 1 Zerg as well, and we got half a Protoss, as you can clearly see. As we are going to be featuring the group stage, the GSL group of Group B, and of course 2 players will advance on, 2 players will be eliminated. It is the GSL format. And best of luck in the chat with your Gamba as we're jumping into our TVP. Again, Clem, he has arguably the best PvT in the world. There's not a single Terran player out there that has been able to avoid his PvT except for Maru. Maru's the only player that has not played against Clem's Protoss. Clem has beaten every other Terran player in the world. But what I will say, in the last week of play, we have seen both ByuN and Cure actually threaten Clem. We have seen Clem drop maps and drop series to ByuN and Cure in the last 7 days, so we'll see if they can do it again. We'll see if they can bring Clem down, or if that was merely a fluke, if that was merely just an error in the matrix, an error in the code, and really Clem is just bound to win every PvT he steps foot in. It's possible. We'll find out. We are here to find out. For the time being, we have standard openers. We have our initial gate expand into Cybercore gate cyber expand out of Clem. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have our initial single gas opener out of ByuN, going for the fastest CC on the low ground, economic build by a Terran player, standard opener out of our Protoss player. So far, so good. Let's go. Let us go. Otherwise, we're just going to be settling in. Again, Clem typically thrives in the mid-game. The mid-game is where we expect to be here for this TVP. Likewise, ByuN is often a very fast player, very fast, very intense. We expect to see him thrive in the mid-game as well and try to test the multitasking of Clem. We have seen Clem at times struggle to keep up with ByuN, at times only, so we'll see if ByuN can pull him apart. Until then, we do have our 1-1-1 opener. From here, we should be, should be going into Widowmines and to drop play, but we'll see if that's the case or if we go for add-ons instead. Keep an eye on ByuN. Meanwhile, SCV is going to be going down here as the Adept does rock up. Zones away the first SCV. Doesn't quite get the kill though. ByuN does defend, ByuN does hold, and ByuN will force this back. So far, so good. Behind this, we do have our add-ons. No Widowmine production, no Widowmine drop. We're going straight for the Tech Lab. From here, we can go for an add-on swap into Banshee. Speaking of add-on swap, there it is. Add-on swap is on the way, and ByuN is going to be a little bit more assertive here in the early game. Meanwhile, standard opener, it's going to be Blink based opener here out of Clem, going in towards those Blink Stalkers. Likewise, very safe way to open up, assuming we throw down additional gateways. So far, it's going to be 2. There we go. 3rd gateway has just been thrown down for Clem. So 3-gate Blink out of our Protoss player. Hellion Scouts doesn't get much information. ByuN does get eyes on the tech, though, does confirm the Blink. Behind this, as we mentioned, again, it is going to be 1-1-1 into Cloak Banshee. ByuN is soon to be moving out across the map. You can see him actually waiting on top of the ramp, waiting for those Adepts, but last Clem shades up and Clem can cancel. Doesn't quite cancel. We'll lose an Adept. Yeah, a bit of a lapse in judgment there from Clem. Does come into the shade. We'll lose 1 Adept. The other Adept is going to be chased down. So far, very nice stepping here by ByuN. And ByuN, he will take down, just the 1. The other Adept does barely escape. What's important is that Clem has not scouted. He is not aware of the Cloak Banshee, but he is at least opening up 3-gate Blinks. A very safe play here by Clem. He should be okay, should be in position. He's with the safety robo as well. He has yet to make an Observer, but we should be seeing an Observer momentarily. As we get into this, a big shout to TQD. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, King. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for subscribing, actually gifting a sub to the community. Thank you. To Psych_SC2. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the casting here on the channel as the initial Banshee does take down the probe. It does head towards the natural, but the observer's popping out in a couple of seconds. And the Banshee will get a second probe. Gets three probe kills and is zoned away at the same time. Clem commits across the map. He does move out. Actually spawns the Banshee. Oh my god, barely doesn't get it. Whew. Does force the activation of the cloak. Banshee to the main base, getting a fourth probe. Not bad. But Clem's making his way into the bases again because the add-on swap tank production is delayed. A tank is still on the way and SCVs are going to go down. He's going to get just the one though. At just one SCV, tank does reposition. And with that, ByuN will defend. Oh, he will lose the gas geyser, but overall he will defend. He will hold on across the map. Banshee does hit the natural. 5 probe kills. You can see ByuN pulling Clem apart. Yeah, the observer can only be in one place at a time, and with that, he's being pulled apart left and right. There's the blink, and finally one Banshee falls, but still 11 probe kills. Did I say 11? Up to 12. 12 workers going down. And again, this is the ByuN that we know and love. ByuN, he is pulling Clem apart. Clem just cannot keep up. Second tank has arrived. He's going for cloaks, so he's going for blink, and it looks like, Stim even. And Stim will not go down. Ooh, Stim will survive. Stim is not denied. Clem, he's in a rough position. He needed to find some damage. He got one SCV, he got one gas geyser. More probes going to be going down. 13 workers in total. And Clem, he is in a rough position. He's in a rough position here. He has to do something across the map, but it's a little bit too late. It's looking too little too late here. ByuN is secure. He repositions his tanks. Clem going back into the main base. At least attempts to. But ByuN is here. ByuN will zone away. And eventually ByuN is going to break out. He's still getting damage done. 2. Another 2. That's 15. Yeah, 15 workers in total for 2 Banshees. Well worth it here for ByuN. And we're still waiting for the upgrade. So ByuN, he won't move out without Stim. Stim is on the way. Combat Shield's on the way. Getting into tank production. Getting into Medivacs as well. Once all of this is done, then it's time to push. And I don't know if Clem can survive that move out. He's going to try though. Is spreading out, trying to catch in a kind of drop play. Prism towards the main. Charge did just finish. He's going from blink into charge as a follow-up into delayed splash damage. Clem just needs a little bit more time here to get those warp-ins underway. Yeah, Zealots are warping in. And here comes ByuN. We spoke about it. Stim is done in 6 seconds. Does get one Stalker. Now, as ByuN moves out, Clem should be moving in. He does have the Warp Prism to harass, to counterattack. But you can see ByuN, he is somewhat in position. Somewhat. Speaking of, Scan does take down the Observer. Prism is not going in. Prism comes back home. Oh, no, never mind. Prism still active. We got plenty of charges. Tanks are going to be a little bit late to siege, and the tank is going to go down. Clem, he will shut down this bush, takes down the first tank. Now going for the second, and we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get the second tank. Massive pickoff. With that, ByuN is also back one of his army. He should back up. ByuN should back up. Clem, he has defended. I say that ByuN is still rallying across the map. Oh, he's still rallying, but he lost 2 tanks for free. Trades well against the Zealots. ByuN still has momentum. Has another tank has just barely arrived. He thinks better of it. Does think better of it, does back up. And from here should be expanding. There it is. Third TC is on the way. Is floating over as we speak. And the game continues. So really nice defense here by Clem. It was so important that he was proactive. Remember, he was able to engage here in the center or towards the center of the map. He was able to shut down the tanks ahead of time. If the tanks did siege, then ByuN most likely would have broken this position. So very tense moment there for Clem. Shuts him down. Zealot drop into the main base. ByuN out of position. He was in position earlier but did move out. Nice reactive drop. Heads into the main. Likewise, Vikings, they hunt down the Prism. Prism is hunted down. Zell's a peel off here into the natural. And so far, that's going to be, what, 7, 8 SCV kills. Nice. Counter damage here by Clem. Does get some damage done. Likewise, Clem poking in. ByuN, he's holding on. It does keep up. I'm not so sure about this move out by ByuN. Yes, he is slightly ahead in army supply, but Alas is still lacking a little bit. I mean, he has killed the Prism, true. Prism is no longer keeping him back, but now there's Colossus. Yeah, Colossus has arrived. Clem, for the most part, he has recovered, getting a 4th expansion. ByuN rotating over. Oh, Clem out of position. It does miss the army. Does miss him. Clem not where he needs to be. Tank does siege with mines as well. For the first time here, we can see that ByuN is actually set up. Let's wait for the natural. On the mine shots. Oh my god, brutal connections. Yeah, Zealots, they go down. But at least the tank falls. And with that, Clem, he's holding. He does hold on. Does cost him a lot of Zealots. He does take down the tank, the medevac as well. ByuN pulls away. Ooh, does pull back. Does pull back in time. As he pulls away. Clem moving forward. And what's important here is that, yes, Clem, he did lose a gateway, but he was able to keep up for the most part. And more importantly, he was able to keep his 4th base alive. The 4th base is still up and running. It is untouched. ByuN is going to keep going. Drops into the main. Takes down a pylon. Not much else. They does survive. And Clem is building up to, I believe, 3 Colossus. Yeah, he's getting his 3rd. 3rd Colossus is about to pop out. Getting into +3. So far, Splash Hammer is looking solid. And this time, he is spreading out his army. He's got a force here towards the 4th base. He's got Stalkers in the main. He's got his main army here in the center. Clem, looking good. Clem does hold. Clem does recover. And Clem is actually going to move out. Okay. I mean, he does have 3 Colossus. 4th Colossus is in production. Clem moving in. In current meta, it's not uncommon to go for a very heavy Marauder composition. As you can see, ByuN has so many Marauders, so a 4th Colossus does now have value here in PvT. Just because of how tanky the Terran army is. Clem does poke in, takes down the gas geyser. So far, good kiting out of Clem. Ideally wants to bait out those widow mines. Lots of swipes here on the expansion. Oh. And the 4th Colossus is soon to join the army. Hits out the other mine shots. Nicely done. EMPs do connect on the Stalkers. Yeah, brutal EMP. Stalkers have to get the hell out of here. Does kite back. 4th Colossus has arrived. Oh my god, it looks like GG gets called. Yeah, he cannot chase this down. Very nice kiting there by Clem. And with that, Clem will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Very intense, very back and forth. Again, ByuN had an amazing start to the game. He killed 15 probes, 15 workers, and the entire mineral line went down. It was a strong start, but remember what happened after that. ByuN went for a counterattack, went for his stim timing, and ByuN, he got caught on siege. He got caught on siege. He lost 2 tanks before they could do anything. And ByuN, he was caught with his pants down. He was caught with his pants down. Clem was able to shut him down, regain map control, get a 4th base. That's the other big, I would say, pivotal moment, is that when Clem took his 4th base, ByuN was not threatening the 4th base. He was not threatening. He was instead pushing in between the bases and even dropping into the main, but he was leaving the 4th base alone. So the economy was untouched in the aftermath. Clem did recover. Clem bounced back. GG. GG, well played. Clem did bounce back, and with that, Clem does have a 1-0 lead, and Clem is 1 game away from knocking ByuN down to the elimination match. Just 1 more game is all he needs. And we'll see if he can get it. As you can hear the beeps, we are getting into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Amygdala. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Coming down in this series, receiving bounce back and force the ace match, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Again, despite the aggression, despite the speed of ByuN, and again, ByuN did successfully deal critical damage, that is true, it was in the aftermath. It was after the aggression had subsided. It was when Clem could then focus on the main fights, he could focus on the main pushes, where Clem was able to overwhelm and persevere. It was impressive. It was very impressive there, especially considering that Clem didn't really get any counter damage done. If you remember, he had Blink and he was trying to go into the main, but he'd failed to snipe the stim. He only got one SCV, he got one gas geyser. He really got minimal damage in the counter attack. ByuN was in a very nice position, but did slip away. Did slip away. And with that, we're getting into game 2. So far, ByuN once again single gas, so going for a Rax expand economic opener out of ByuN into a delayed factory, into a delayed starport. Meanwhile, Clem going for a gate cyber expand, a standard opener once again, 2 games in a row out of Clem. Again, I don't expect Clem to do anything different. I expect standard play, just like last game, 3 gate blink into a robo, then into a third expansion is what we expect. It's what we saw in game 1, and most likely what we're going to be seeing here in game 2. Clem, I don't really think he's one to play around with Stargate openers too often. I would say that on Amygdala, Stargate play is viable. It is definitely possible here. So Clem could embrace it. But I don't really think he's one to really try out and play with Stargate play too often. Now we'll see. Just catching up with the chat. Yo, shout out to Gary. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you. Did see you earlier watching the ladder stream. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Also, shout out to your bro Chris. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. I think it's quite late in. Oh no, my apologies. I'll say quite late in the Americas, but I believe what up is supposed to be. He's double expanding. Jesus. So it was a single gas opener. It's Rax into CC into CC. 3 CC, 3 racks out of ByuN. Again, if you are familiar with ByuN's play last season, you would know that ByuN, he was all about this build on site Delta. He would exclusively do this build on site Delta, just hyper greed. This does snowball out of control in the mid game, and we brought it back here on Amygdala. This is a build that ByuN does like to mix in from time to time on larger maps. And Amygdala does count as a larger map. So hyper greed out of ByuN. Now, the greed of the faster third CC does not really reveal itself, doesn't really kick in until he actually lands his third and takes it in the mid game. Once he gets up to 3 base saturation, which will get into 2 base saturation even faster, making 3 SVs at a time, then he will just snowball out of control with a massive marine, heavy marauder army. That's where he thrives, that's where he really snowballs out of control. So we'll see if ByuN can get there. For now, ByuN, he breaks out, zones away the Adept. We'll take his own natural. Let's take his natural. Third Rax is in production, working towards that stim timing. We got +1 on the way, stim, combat shields, all that good stuff. All things Terran are going to be on the way. Clem just building up as well. Ooh, greedier build this time. So as a reminder, last game we had 2 gate opener into, sorry, we had 3 gate opener, 3 gate blink into robo into expansion. This is a third base off of only 2 gateways. So Clem is cutting corners. Clem is being greedier on this map. Likewise, so is ByuN, right, with a fast third CC. So this is the name of the game on Amygdala. You do go for more greedier builds in the early game, and so far both players are cutting corners. So far, so good. From here, building back up, throwing down additional gateways. Likewise, upgrades are still on the way. ByuN, he hasn't landed his third CC yet. Again, for now, he's just making 3 SVs at a time. Just saturating his own natural as quickly as possible. Observer does confirm the fact that the third CC is already done at this point. Now Clem realizes how greedy ByuN has been, and then Clem moves out. Like, as soon as he sees the greed, Clem, he knows he has to move out. He has to be aggressive in some way, shape, or form. Remember, because of the build that ByuN went for, no tanks. 0 tanks here, but the upgrades are now already done. This army could have been abused earlier, but now less so. ByuN trying to rotate. Clem does hit the natural, going for the bunker. Bunker takes a lot of hits. Bunker is going to go down. Nice pick up. Let's see Observer so far. Does see everything. And does he notice it? He does. Does notice one. Not quite the other, though. Yeah, the other Observer is just barely outside. Barely out of vision. Again, it's past this tower, so it's a little bit more difficult to actually get your eye on. And it does ByuN notice. I'm just focusing on those rocks. Knocking them down. Building up additional Raxes, getting his third base, and again, we shouldn't really push. We shouldn't really be seeing ByuN be too aggressive until he gets his third base up and running. Like, that's the benefit here, and the reason why he did rush into his third CC is to get that 3-base saturation. Oh, till then, catches out a couple Stalkers. A very nice catch. 2, 3, 4 Stalkers going down. With this, ByuN can counterattack, and the fourth base is looking exposed. Another stim, second stim here for ByuN. Dusts it forward, takes down the Stalkers, takes down the Zelts as well. Going for the expansion. First, stoning back the arm, but the Colossus has arrived. ByuN stims in. It doesn't quite get it though. It doesn't quite get it in the end. ByuN going to be forced back. Getting another Stalker and another. Very nice trades here from ByuN. Doesn't quite get the Colossus, but does reset almost the Stalker count. Oof. ByuN does pull away, does pull back. That was a rough trade. It wasn't a bad trade for ByuN, but last I'm sure he wanted the Colossus, doesn't quite get it. Sorry, I sneezed. Snuck up on me, Bobby. Snuck up on me. But from here, 4th CC. So ByuN just building up. His third is fully operational. 4 CCs now on the way. Likewise, building up into more Marines, Marauders, Viking production as well. A couple of Widow Mines. ByuN trying to maintain that aggression. ByuN, he is aware of the expansion, of course, and his goal here is to try to knock it down. Let's see if he can. The Zealots. Colossus in position. Now we have 2, soon to be 3 Colossus. Without a hefty Viking count, I'm not sure if ByuN can break this. He scans, sees the Colossi. Stims in regardless. Does stim forward. Decent force field. And Mine Shot's faded out. Still a couple of lines behind this. Vikings have now arrived. But still only 2 Vikings. Yeah, nice Mine Shot here on the Widow Mine. Sorry, on the Sentry. Sentry goes down. The last Clem is just forcing ByuN all the way back home. ByuN has to be careful to bleed out too much. Oof, as he bleeds out a lot of Marauders here. Yeah, the Colossus, they just get so much value as the army retreats. I'm pushing forward. Does have to be careful, doesn't have much to really support his army. And now we're to 4 Colossus, sorry, 4 Vikings. And Vikings, they move in. Let me have to pull back. Let's pull away. Let's have to pull away. Still building up. I'm gonna get there aren't that many Stalkers that support the Colossus, so he has to be very careful. Vikings moving in. getting a volley off. It's a volley off on the Colossus. Clem getting ready for a massive Zealot counterattack. Fourth base is looking exposed. And going for the gold instead. He's going for the gold expansion. Clem taking his own fifth. Keeping up economically. Trading very well with those Colossus. He's up to 4. Up to 4 Colossus. That's a lot of lasers. Zealots at the third base. Getting 5 SCV kills, pulling away. Main army moving in. And ByuN, he just can't keep up. We'll see another 6 SCV kills. Prism into the main, going for a massive warp in. Warp in will barely complete. Oh, that's partly complete. There's Clem moving in. Ooh, catches a medevac. Let's catch a medevac. No disruptors yet. I'm a little bit surprised. There's no disruptors, no storm. This is still the only form of splash damage for the time being. As you appear here on the Stalkers. First Colossus goes down. The Vikings, they go ham. We're getting a second Colossus. Yeah, Clem overextends. This was not the fight he was hoping for. Bleeds out 2 Colossi. ByuN holds. And he does defend the ramp. Second Rover is on the way to replenish that army. Ooh, and 9 SVs that go down. Nine SVs did full. Colossus, they get behind the mineral line. Oh, this goal base, it's so difficult to maintain. Especially against Colossus like this. Yeah, ByuN, he's stuck with a 3-base economy. Like, 3 bases isn't bad, of course, but it is when Clem is on 6. Gee, he's got double the base count. Double the base count of ByuN and just choking him out. Starving him out here. ByuN just cannot expand. Army moves in. Oh no, the CC! No! No! Sean gets a kill. Snipes the 4th. Prism into the main. And it's just too much. It's just too much at this point. ByuN, he will get on top of the Colossus, but it doesn't matter. Charge will say dive in. GG gets called. ByuN completely torn apart. And Clem will take the series 2-0. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. ByuN, he had a very strong game 1. Game 1 was very intense and very back and forth. Here in game 2, essentially, once Clem realized that ByuN was being greedy, Clem, he met him in that greed. Clem, he was so quick to get his 3rd base, to get his 4th base, more importantly, to saturate, to just maintain map control and be as greedy as he could. Remember, at the end, Clem, he was on 6 Nexus, 6 Nexi, 6 bases, compared to the 3-base setup of ByuN, as ByuN could not get a 4th base up and running. It just wouldn't happen with that GG. GG, well played. Clem was just being so oppressive, so aggressive there, just containing the Terran, and with that, Clem does snowball out of control. Clem will claim the series, and now we're heading over to the Korean server for our next matchup. Here we go. Yeah, heading on over, and vetoes are underway. Vetoes are getting underway. We may as well take this moment here to catch up on the bracket to figure out where we are and where we are headed. Let's go.